Hi, good afternoon. It's Paul Bursey from SuccessCafe.tv, and my co-presenter is
Warren Connolly.
we can see. What have
Hey,
you been
everybody.
taking, Warren? You're having too much sugar.
No, too much life.
Ah, that's good. That's great. Well, I've done some training today, which we won't talk about. I'm sure Warren has done a bit today as well.
I most certainly did do some training today.
But today's about, I suppose, about entrepreneurship and making money and providing service. So, with that, let me give you what today's show is about, and that is how to push yourself to a new level. Now, okay, but before we get started, I just want to do a little bit of a call to action here. And, Warren and myself, we're looking for people with drive, with passion, that are hungry either to, let's say, you're already a high achiever or you want to be a high achiever. So it could be a beginner. So it's not necessarily people that have already done it, okay? Because we're more interested in the passion that when we speak to people. So, but they have to be looking to move forward now, not necessarily today, but not next month, okay?
At this point in their life.
Yeah. So they've got to be looking to move forward. We want people to set the bar high. We will commit our time to people who are qualified. That means we'll speak to you and we'll go through a process. We will then give you some information so you can go away and make an educated decision as to whether you want to partner with us or not. So it doesn't hurt you to get the information. Now, because we say we've already got people that are signing up, we normally take on, or this week we're taking on 3 each, but I think that's down to 3 or 4 now. So we can't work with everyone, and that's simply it. It's a simple solution, a very easy to implement. Okay, you've got to work hard, but we're talking about improving your income. Okay, so if it interests you, then please contact us by putting the word interested in the comments on the Facebook Live. I'm sure you'll find another way to get in contact with us if you're on the podcast, okay? Because you can come to, obviously, to the Facebook anyway and contact us. Anyway, on with the show. And Warren, what's your thoughts on today's subject?
How to push yourself to the next level.
Yeah. Okay, now we could be talking about anything.
Of course. Okay, yeah.
We are generalizing that to make it easy. So we're not going down specifically down one channel, which may not interest everyone, so
the first point of contact is the decision to do it. Yeah. It's first you need to make the decision to do it, and whatever that is, again, as Paul said. And then the second part of the act thereafter is planning, and then of some kind. Doesn't have to be a detailed, intensive plan, but some kind of plan. And then after that, you need to take action. And there's obviously a lot in between all of that, but that's like the structure of it. The meat of the bones comes after that, where you got all the different aspects of making the decision, having a plan, and then taking action.
Okay, so let's give our listeners on the podcast and YouTube and Facebook Live, let's give them an idea of what we mean, because as you said, things don't have to be complicated. So what would be 3 things? Let's say someone wanted to improve their health. Let's say 3 things that you would, suggest to do.
To improve your health. Okay. I'm actually going to give 2, but 3 things, but two different examples. And the first one, if you're going to change your health, then you need to look at information. You need to find the information for yourself, or you need to get the information, pay somebody else to give you the information to help you to change your health. Then the next step would be put a plan together as to how you're going to go about doing that. So do you need to change your nutrition? Do you need to change the way you're exercising? Do you need to start exercising? Do you need to start nutrition? What is your sleep like? What are your sleep patterns like? Are you sleeping enough during the day? What are you doing to keep yourself de-stressed and your stress levels low, blood pressure low, all the, the daily life blog, the stuff that gets you bogged down, because if you are stressed out all the time, your health is not going to be where it could be. So that is as a quick summary, as an example from a health point of view. If you're thinking about how to push yourself to the next level and you're thinking about business, then I can use myself as an example again. Yeah, because the previous one is an exact example for myself. But business, again, you want to figure out what is it that you need to do to push yourself to the next level. So that's the plan, okay? But you made the decision already at that stage. Then perhaps you need to do some learning. You need to educate yourself. You need to get the guidance of a coach or a mentor, because without the support of somebody else in that plan with you, it's unlikely you're going to push yourself to the next level and a sustainable level. You may be able to get there initially, but very few people are able to continuously keep pushing themselves to the next level or maintain that push for an extended period of time without the assistance of somebody else. And that somebody else could be a mentor, a coach, something like that. Could be a business partner that is helping guide you through to that next level. And this is the same thing that happened with me. When I joined the company that Paul and I have aligned up with together, it was a matter of, I wanted to push myself to the next level. I was sick and tired of being in that mundane, boring, and I'd gone from being in this industry to be moving back into the corporate world and being employed and having a job and all of that kind of stuff for a number of years, and it just didn't happen for me. So I made the plan. I found somebody that I could hold myself accountable to at the time. All right, and I endeavored to learn and understand. I didn't have a lot of time to do it. I didn't have 5 hours a day to study and learn and all these kind of things. But whatever time I did have, I took those times in order to do that. And then I just stuck to it. I made the commitment to stick to it. And you can't push through in anything in life unless you make the commitment to yourself that you're going to stick to it until such a time as you create that next level. You push through to that next level.
Yeah, sounds great. Just let me address one thing. My mate Steve's just left us a message on the on Facebook here, saying that the speech and the overlapping, the synchronization between the speech and what you're seeing on the picture is not working. It's working for me.
That's fine.
But that doesn't mean a great deal. It's normally down to the internet and how good your signal is. So it could be our signal that's not good, or it could be Steve's signal that's not good. So as I say, we do. It is also on podcasts as well, and I apologise if that does happen, but unfortunately, we don't have a lot of control over that. Anyway, yeah, going back to what we were talking about. If you were telling someone, from my point of view, and you'll always get a great dialogue from Warren, but
sorry,
no, seriously, you have to have stories or explain things, but you need the shortened version as well. For me, it would be all of that. However, I would start off by saying if someone only had about 60 seconds to talk, I'd obviously arrange to speak to them later, obviously at length, but I would just tell them 3 very simple things. And you alluded to one, and that is, I have 8 hours sleep. Okay. Hydrate more and start to exercise. Okay. And then that will get them going. They can concentrate on one if they want, if they think it's simpler. And then you can come back and speak to them later. But you are absolutely right in what you said, Warren. So for me, about pushing yourself to the next level is all about improvement, taking it up a notch. Okay. And that's what we're talking about. So you could be used to walking a mile a day. time to up it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe time to up the speed a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that type of thing. So it is when I say push yourself, I'm talking about improvement for whatever you're going to do. Okay. It's something that you have to be happy with. Would you agree with that, Warren?
Of course, because if you're not happy with whatever it is, it's not going to last for very long unless you have somebody to keep pushing you from behind. And then, but still, at the end of the day, there's going to come a breaking point if you're not enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's it. I mean, we're talking about something you're passionate about, maybe something you just want to advance in.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We normally keep it down to sport and business, and that's our training and things like that. Because that's where we come from.
Our background is. But if you look at background, if you look at business, I'll put my hand up and I'll say, for me, marketing is not my favorite thing. Okay, it's for me, it's the motivating, it's the driving, it's the coaching, it's the mentoring, it's the educating. Those are my big strengths. Marketing is not a big strength of mine at all. However, I'm learning marketing because I understand that I can pay somebody to do the marketing for me, but unless I understand the marketing, it's not going to help at all, even if I pay somebody to do that for me, because then I just don't understand it. I don't get it. So I need to understand the marketing better, whether I use those skills or not, because then I know that knowledge will help my business to grow in any case. So yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. It will definitely hold you back if you're a one-man band. Okay?
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Which I would imagine every entrepreneur at some stage has been a one-man band.
Yes.
Because there are some things you're good at, and there's some things you need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you never divert away from what you're good at. And if you look at any good business person or athlete, if you look at elite athletes, they have this big entourage of people that take care of everything apart from the performance. Mm-hmm. So, in other words,
that's all they have to worry about is just performing.
That's right. And because it's an elite level, that is how it should be. Mm-hmm. Because that's the important thing. So if you're a one-man band and you're just getting started, it's going to be tough. There is unless you've got lots of money to pay people to do things. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm not saying discount not paying someone to do something, but if you were to pay everyone that really you should be paying, you probably wouldn't get started. Okay. Once you're up there and you're earning the good money, then it really doesn't matter, because your time is more precious. I mean, we know it's precious anyway, especially when you're getting older like me. But but generally, you need help. There's many ways of getting help as well. But this is what you're going to need to do if you want to push up to this next level.
Yeah. And unfortunately, many entrepreneurs see themselves as an island in the middle of the ocean. A lot of entrepreneurs come from the mentality of being self-employed, and many self-employed people like to do things for themselves. This was a big fault of mine. Having been self-employed for so many years, I just wanted to do everything myself and get it done. Because even as a manager in the beginning, when I was first managing, I would do everything myself until I learned how to become a leader. And this is another thing with entrepreneurs. It's about learning how to be leaders rather than, only managing yourself and doing everything for yourself. So, it's important to understand and to know in order to push through to the next level. But you don't necessarily have to know everything. You really don't. Even if it comes to fitness, if it's a fitness related or health related thing, if you know the basics, like you say, 8 hours sleep, hydration, exercise, or activity of some kind, those are the basics. If you can follow those 3 in the beginning, then as you're going along, you can start to learn more. But you're learning as you're involved and as you're practicing. So this is a great thing about what we do, is that you're learning as you're involving yourself, and that helps you to push through to the next level. I believe a lot quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because most people learn better that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, let's assume you've decided to do something. You're not 100% sure how to do it. Then you're going to have to find someone who's good at what they do, that can either help you personally, one-to-one, which probably will cost you money, or to go and research and find people that do what you do on Google, YouTube, Facebook, and then try and attach yourself to them, because obviously success leaves clues, as they say. So you can watch and listen to them and let it rub off on you. So but let's assume you've started something. What would I suggest? Well, I think first thing I would say is get going, don't wait. If you wait, you won't do it, or it's very unlikely that you'll do it. And the other thing you need to do is study. A part of your time is going to be studying. It's going to be about reading. It's going to be watching, listening. Yeah. And then once you've got that, once you start cracking it a little bit, then you're going to obviously start to practice. And we're talking very quickly afterwards. Now, don't hang about, practice. And then later on, you'll become so good at it that you'll be teaching it. Okay. And then it's a whole new ball game as far as your income levels and how confident you are, and everybody starts from A.
And this is also from experience, I've found why so many people don't like to be managers or supervisors within their companies that they work for, because they're terrified of teaching people. They either terrified of teaching somebody and teaching them the wrong way, or they're terrified of the idea of having to teach somebody, because people will know that as a manager or leader, it's an important aspect of being a manager or leader is to teach. However, if you are coaching somebody, you're mentoring something, that's something different altogether. And you'll find in an entrepreneurial business sense, you find a lot of coaches and a lot of mentors willing to work with people. And this really helps people to just push themselves through to the next level, because you're learning responsibility for yourself and your business and your own actions through a mentor or a coach. So you're not everything's being spoon fed to you, in simpler terms. So it's a great way to learn how to push yourself.
Yeah, and not being spoon fed is fighting for your future. Fighting for your what you're doing,
showing that you have the desire for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And people with desire normally make it. Doesn't always work out, but normally they do. So study, practice, teach. That was the first thing that I had in my little list. The second thing is taking baby steps or incremental steps every day. And as you want to push the level up, then you either increase the amount or the quantity of what you're doing, or you improve the quality. Because as you get on in whatever project you're doing, then you need to improve. We always need to improve. If you don't improve, then you go stagnant. So, have you ever got stagnant at all there, Warren?
Oh yeah, but very seldom though. Very, very seldom in my life. But I have. Yeah.
Sorry.
As you've what?
No, all I was going to say was, I mean, as I said, I've mentioned probably a few times before, is that even athletes have a maintenance phase.
Yeah, of course.
The maintenance phase is to make sure they don't rust up. They're not on peak. They're not doing peak performance. They're just keeping the 3-in-1 oil on the joints and things like that, so that it's easier to get back into the peak performance when they've had that little rest period of maybe a couple of weeks, maybe some month. I don't really know. Depends on what the sport is. And
however, even with that, they're not stagnating. They're just
they're not stagnating, and then that's exactly why they do the maintenance phase. And you got to do something. Even you go walking, and then come back to doing it. There's reasons why you keep the old plates spinning.
Well, this is one of the anomalies of human psychology. The way we think is that we believe that we can just relive the same day over and over and over again as if it was like a Groundhog Day, and everything will be fine at the end of it, because you're in your comfort zone, you're doing what and what you're familiar with. um, and this is not to knock anybody for what they do or who they are, what they believe in, but if I look at the average lifestyle of the average working person, they wake up in the morning, they do their thing in the morning, get the kids ready for school, or they get ready for work, and then they get ready for work, either or vice versa. Then they go to work, and then they sit behind a desk, or they do whatever it is that they're doing. Maybe they're doing manual work, physical labor, that kind of stuff, blue collar, white collar, whatever it is. Then they come home, and then they do their thing that they do at home. Maybe they go for a workout, and they come out, they cook, they eat, they watch some television, they go to sleep, and the next morning it's the exact same pattern. However, the universe doesn't work that way. The universe is constantly moving forward. But for some reason, we humans think we're too important to keep moving forward all the time. So we stagnate. And the moment you stagnate, you start to die. You start to literally be left behind. You're no longer part of history anymore. You now have become part of. You already are history, and you've forgotten sooner than later. So we need to. It's imperative for our own longevity, our own health, our own mental health, our own success in life, and being able to leave a legacy or achieve a goal, or whatever that may be for you, whatever your future dream would look like. You need to keep moving forward. You cannot just sit and stagnate, because the universe will leave you behind. And it's as simple as that. We unfortunately don't think that way for the vast majority of people. We become conditioned to think we're too important to keep moving.
And the other thing is, if you stagnate, you stink.
You stink.
Like a pond. Like the old stagnation of the pond.
Yeah.
So, no, we're only joking. But
maybe, think about think you're joking, but think about conversation. People, think about the people that you know in your life that have stagnated, and think about their conversation matter. It stinks for the most part.
Well, as Zig Ziglar called it, stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it's your attitude changes. You get grumpy.
Yeah.
As you get older, of course. But and you think your life is over. It's not over. It's only over when you die.
I'll tell you, I used to be grumpier as a kid than I am now, because as a kid, I was living a stagnated lifestyle. I was living a stagnated life. I had no. For me as a kid, I was a very different person to what I am like now, and my attitude was a lot more grumpier. I was like an old man as a kid, And as I've got older, I've literally reversed that. Like a kind of what's that movie? That movie with Brad Pitt. He was there. No.
I watched that last night.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah.
Wow, I love those movies, the Guy Ritchie movies. But no, when he was born as an old man, so as a baby he was old and wrinkled, and then as he got older he aged. He got younger as he got older, type of thing, until he became a baby again. When he was in his 70s or 80s, he was basically back to being a baby again. So it was, this is how I was as a kid. I was that old man as a kid, and then as I've got older, I've become younger at heart, younger in spirit. And I keep moving forward. It's important for me to keep moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. You got to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Some people, as I say, as I mentioned before, some people die at 30.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Shame. They do. Emotionally,
keep it going, mate. You don't know how long things are going to last. So that's why, and you just got to keep going. You just got to keep sticking at it, and it's fun. You've got to do what's fun, haven't you?
Oh yeah, it's scary sometimes. It's scary as heck, but it's also fun at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I can use that same example about the roller coaster ride as a kid. It's fear, excitement, they're the same thing. It's just how we look at it. That's all.
Okay, number 4. I think it's 4 on my list. No, maybe 3 on my list.
I didn't know you had-
Focus. Have a narrow focus and focus on only one thing. Your priority. So, as an example, I would say Apple and the iPhone. Okay, they have other products, but the iPhone is their main thrust because, and that's why they have the majority of the mobile phone market. Okay, so very, very important. What do you think about focus?
Without an element of focus, yeah, I mean it's imperative. Really, you need to learn how to focus yourself. Again, that's something that I've had to overcome, is the lack of focus, and learn how to focus. I even read a book about it called The Power of Focus.
No, that rings a bell. I've seen that. It's got a magnifying glass on the front.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I've read that. Yeah. So, yeah, but it is important. And if you lack inspiration, just go and watch the Paralympics.
I wanted to touch on that just now because when you were talking,
that's one of your you like that, don't you?
Yeah, that's something that's very close to my heart. But when you were talking about how successful people have an entourage around them, if you just go to the Olympic Games, if you go to the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics, those athletes that are competing in the able-bodied Summer Olympic Games, they have an entourage. They have a mass. I mean, you got individual athletes within teams that have got their own teams.
Yeah.
Of assistant. Yeah. It's like an F1 team. Vettel and Hamilton, and they have their own teams that work with them within a team. But when you go to the Paralympic Games, they don't have a team, or they don't have their own individual team. They have their team, so like but the athletes themselves, they don't have their own individual masseurs or coaches and this and that. No. One or two of them maybe have, but for the vast majority of them, they're on their own, and they are constantly having to move forward and keep pushing to the next level in order to thrive in that environment, constantly at the same level as the able-bodied athletes, but they don't have the same amount of support. So they've had to learn how to do it themselves.
Nobody succeeds alone.
No, yeah, I
don't care who they are.
I met a young guy from the Ivory Coast, and he was working with a coach from Italy. And I asked him, how did you come across a coach from Italy? And his coach told me, he said he came from the Ivory Coast to France because they speak French. So he moved to France because he was disabled, but he was a javelin thrower. Okay. And his dream was to go to the Olympics and as a javelin thrower. And he traveled from Ivory Coast as a poor, disabled young man to France to find a coach that would work with him. He found a coach. The guy didn't have the necessarily skills and expertise to help him to get to the next level, because he wanted to keep pushing himself through to that next level all the time. And then he heard about this trainer that lives just outside of Maranello, just outside of Monza in Italy. And he traveled there on his own accord, introduced himself to the man, told him who he was. And the guy said to him, look, if you want me to train you, you have to come and live here with me. I'm not traveling anywhere to train you. And he did. The guy relocated again from France to Italy because he was willing to push himself that much to the next level that it didn't matter what he had to do it. He didn't know how he was going to do it, but he just made sure that this was the plan, and he had to overcome any obstacles in order to reach that plan. And because it was such a burning desire within inside of him.
Superb.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's stories like that. You can't beat that.
Desire.
Yeah, desire.
So, okay. He is number 4 on my list. Don't deviate from what you're doing. Okay, not only focus on one thing, but don't deviate. Don't allow distractions to take your attention away from what you're doing. So, and that's happened to me on lots of occasions. Now, I would imagine if you were to spend time and talk to people, they would say to you, yes, I've deviated on thousands of occasions. And that could be family. It could be anything. We don't know. It could be that you want to go on Facebook for 10 minutes. I don't know. But we all deviate, and it's something you've got to learn to cut out. And I mean those 3 or 4 hours that you're working.
Yeah.
Or, we're not. And the next thing on my list, and I just want to rush these because we're getting on with time, is to read more. Now, I mentioned it a bit earlier, about studying and that, but reading is so important. For some people that could be listening. I know an entrepreneur not too far away from me, not Warren, who would rather listen than read, and that's for reasons of his own. But either way, when I say reading, it can take in listening, because I know that some people don't like to read. As long as you're getting the same information, it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it's also a matter of optimizing your time as well for listening. For many people, for example, like turning your car into a university, on wheels.
Done that before.
Yeah. So you don't necessarily have the time to be sitting at home reading, but you can be listening to something. And I used to do that when I traveled around Budapest on the metro and public transport. I'd have our hub on there on my phone, and earphones on, and I'd be listening to trainings while I was traveling. Listening to stuff. So it's because also the other thing is that when you are engaging your brain in that way, what you're doing is that you're telling the universe that, okay, you are ready to now move to the next level. So when you're engaging in learning on a regular basis and upskilling your knowledge, you're telling the universe, I'm ready. Unfortunately, for the most part, people don't see the opportunities to take the action. And this is where focus comes in as well, because you need to stay focused in order to see those opportunities when they come and present themselves. Yeah.
Yes. One other thing, and again, you'll adapt this how you want with your business or your sport or wherever it is that you're doing, and that is get organized. If it's knowing that you want to get up for a run at 5 o'clock in the morning, make sure your running gear is next to the bed. That's a simple thing. Okay. Some entrepreneurs, they cook all their meals or get them prepared for them for the whole week.
Yes.
So they don't have to use brain power to think about it. I've mentioned that before, I think. But again, that's getting organized. Whatever it is that you've got to do to help you along the way. And the last thing is intentionally using your time even better than you have been. All right. Again, it goes with getting organized as well. But use your time well. So all these things link into the productivity and learning more about yourself and learning how you function or how you want to function to make things seamless as far as possible.
That's a good word that you just used there, seamless, because while you've been talking, I was thinking about how over the years, I've learned how to set up a system for myself, no matter where I am, where it kind of just things move seamlessly for me, in many, many aspects of my life. So my time management, my cooking, my education, my everything, small, down to the finer details, the small things about when I'm doing certain things or eating certain stuff, so that it all kind of fits in together for me. But I've learned that for myself, because based on my own needs and comforts as well. I don't want to be stressed out. I don't want to ever be rushed. I don't like to be rushed. I don't like to be stressed. So I kind of keep things placed in a way that enables me in many ways. It enables me to be successful as I can be.
Yeah, and then you can go back to what you said at the start, and that is watch what you put in your mouth. You said it in a different way, of course, but you were talking about nutrition. So that links to everything. The nutrition links to everything you do, whether you've got your morning success routine, sorted out, nutrition will go right across the board, as does hydration. So these are the things you have to crack if you want to really step it up a gear.
And
I'll go back to the next level.
Just for those folks that aren't aware as to why nutrition is so important, so they don't brush it off and go, yeah, whatever. It's because if your blood sugar levels are not regulated and your insulin levels and your cortisol levels are not stabilized, you're not going to be able to think in a manner that's empowering to you. You're not going to be able to remain focused. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing that you eat is some kind of pastry, some bread, and you're not having much else other than coffee with milk and sugar with it, you're automatically, your blood sugar levels are going to be peaking, and within half an hour, your brain's going to be being frizzled with inside, but you won't realize it, and you're not going to be able to think properly and focus and be able to operate and function properly.
Yeah.
You're bound to have these dips within your day, throughout the day. And that's going to take away from the energy that is required for you to be able to think clearly and be able to focus and be able to be precise and be able to be on point as often as you need to be in order to break through to the next level.
So coaching and mentoring are very, very important then.
Most definitely. Oh,
we
yes.
can do that.
We do that.
Yeah, we do that. Yeah, right. Okay. So anything else you want to wrap up with before I say my last little bit?
No, thanks, Paul. I don't want to stop you.
Oh, don't. You can anytime. Well, look, I hope it's been useful today. And if you found it useful, please share it. Direct it onto other people. Maybe like the post, like the page it's on, which is Success Cafe TV. successcafe.tv. And last thing I've got to say is this: apart from, I wish you all the success you're willing to work towards, is that we are on the search. We are hiring. Okay. Entrepreneurs, of course. And we're looking for people with drive and passion. We're looking for people who are hungry and ambitious and really have energy, or they want to learn those things. Okay. And, we want high achievers as well as people that haven't probably achieved very much in the business world, but are hungry and passionate. Okay. Mm-hmm. We will commit our time to 3 or 4 people. It was 6, but it's gone down because we've got other people to work with now. 3 or 4 people that want to go now. When I say now, I don't necessarily mean today, but in the next few days, maybe within the week. And they're looking for a way to earn money. They're looking for a place to hang their hat that's exciting and moving forward. Then all I would say is get in touch with us. The best way is on the Facebook Live. If you, we've got the comments here, and you can write the word interested in there. And what we'll do, we'll have a conversation. We'll get some information. You can make your own intelligent decision as whether you want to work with us or not. Mm-hmm. Simple as. Mm-hmm. We don't try and talk anyone into anything. In fact, I would say it's the other way around. Yeah. So, it is because I don't work with anyone. So, and you've got to fight to work with me. So, and Warren as well. So, anyway, have a fantastic day. We've been going nearly 39 minutes. It's too long, really. But have a great day and a great rest of the week. See you later.
Sharing is caring, folks.
Absolutely. And loving's even better.
Yeah, I love you all.